So I made the mistake of assuming that you can just go into any auto parts store and buy the right air filter for your car or cars. So I went to the dealer to buy this one. This is for my truck. Not much to it. It's a standard flat air filter. It was almost $80. Won't do that again. Now I take that back. $70. This one is for a smaller SUV. This one was $30. Won't do that again. I got both of these at the auto parts store, oil filters for my vehicles, which costs less than $30 for two of them. And that's why people order online. A lot of these newer cars recommend oil that starts out with the 0W, which is very, very thin. And it's meant for all around easier lubrication, I guess. But on some manufacturers, it has been so thin that it doesn't stick to the lifters and the engines blow up. So I don't want that to happen. That'll be big enough. And I need some rags because I'm going to make a mess. Nothing I can do, it'll just happen. Where are some of my crappier rags? Paper towels it is. Well, might as well use up the rest of this one. Oh, wait a minute, did find a crappier rag. Tools will be important. Best socket set ever. And a couple of oil filter wrenches. The truck oil filter looks like it's got the big end. I remember these being a lot taller. But it says it's extended life. It's supposed to be a better one than the base models. Let's see. So that's for the truck. That's for the car. SUV. Smaller. Let me look at my oil filter wrenches. Got three sizes. Let's see what they are. Got three different sizes. Let's see. That one fits that perfectly. And none of them fit the big one. Nope. I have a different kind of wrench for that one. It's a strap wrench that I've got somewhere here. The best thing about having a big toolbox is that you have some place to put everything. The worst thing about having a big toolbox is that you can't remember where it is. Ah, there it is. There you go. That's what you call an old school oil filter wrench. Wraps around the outside, and depending on which way you put it on, you can tighten and loosen it. Just like that. So we're good there. Let me turn around my truck.
Just download the free Upside app.
That's close enough. If I get ramps. And that ought to be enough time that the engine oil will run down from being warm. Somewhere around here I have a piece of cardboard to put on the ground. Yes, I do. Today's lesson: why Pappy Jack keeps everything. Almost everything. Because you never know when you're going to need it. As long as it's not junk. But say you buy a new TV, a couple of years ago, and you look at this big old piece of cardboard on the side of a box and you're like, I think I can use that. Okay, we need some ramps. Oops. We're going to use these ramps. I don't think they'll move, and they're strong enough to support the front end of that truck. And always chalk your wheels, the ones that stay on the ground. And always remember to pick them up before you go to move your vehicle again. Because I'll admit, I've run over them. You know what? I'm going to use the big boys for the... I have had these since I was 22 years old. My balance is going to hit unless I pull up on something else first. We're going to use a block of wood. Let me turn my wheel straight. And that motor oil. Probably take that off there. Okay. That has a push pin, but it's irrelevant now. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's a little dirty. Well, let's look at the new one. See what the new one looks like compared to that. Old one. New one. Yeah, I'd say that probably affected mileage a little bit. It's still not terrible. I'm gonna wipe that stuff out of that Airbox. Show you the kind of stuff that everyday driving puts in your motor. See all that down in there? Not good. We'll get it out. First, I'm going to get out of there what I see in there. What is that? Bugs. Leaves. And we'll blow the rest out. Stuff this in the intake so it doesn't go in there. So you'd think there'd be a fill neck somewhere up here near the valve cap. Valve cover cap. Because right there's where you check the oil. But no. It's right there. Right there. Now I can get to it, but it doesn't seem very intuitive. Okay, now let's find out where that drain plug is. Well, oh, I see. That's gonna make a mess. Let me show you. oil pan, oil plug, and it's pointed right at that cooler. And there's the oil filter. So my oil, I gotta catch all that oil directly under my head here. I wonder what size that plug is. 5/8 maybe. Let's find out. Let's go get a couple of sockets. And my oil pan. All right, let's see how this goes. So what's our guess on how many milliliters that is? 19? Oh, too big. 18. Also too big. Wow. And the winner is... oh my gosh, it's 15. Let's go back. Third time the charm. It's a 15. Okay. I'm sure I'm going to make a mess. I wonder how far it'll shoot. Let's move my stuff just in case it makes splashes. That exhaust is still hot. I'm sure it's going to splash at me. Let's take it out slowly. It got me. Oh yeah, that was... as soon as I let the pressure out, right up my arm. And let me show you the mess I made. It wouldn't be a Pappy Jack project if I didn't make a mess. That's not too bad. But it's not on the driveway. And that oil's actually not too dark. I think I'm about 1,000 miles past the recommended oil change. It's full synthetic. Take away your view here for a minute so I can check on the capacity. I think it's 7 quarts. I smudged my glasses. Good thing I have about 100 of these. That's better. All right, let's check these capacities. You know, they don't give you manuals anymore. You gotta order them. Or you just look it up on the website. Engine specification, 7.3 liter. Big V8. Engine capacity and specifications, 7.3 gasoline. 8 quarts. I was wrong. 8 quarts including the filter. And I have 6 5W30 in that box. Loose 5W30 synthetic. Same brand. And a gallon jug. 5 quarts. So I got enough. See if it's still dripping under there. A little bit. Give it another minute or two. I see a drip or two. Handy dandy tightener thingy. Otherwise known as a socket wrench. All nice and clean. Before I put that on there, I'm going to run just a ring of oil around it. I don't know if they recommend that you do that anymore, but can't hurt. Well, at least the dealership didn't crank it on there so hard that I couldn't get it. See if I can get that out there. Get it up my arm. Pretty sure I will a little bit. much of a mess there. Oh, ring on there. Watch one of those YouTube guys that does a whole bunch of comparisons on oil and oil filters and all that, and the difference in them is negligible. I haven't seen anything negative about STP as a brand. Let's give this about a quarter turn after it tightens up. There we go. You don't want that to get too tight. And make sure there's no debris on my oil plug. The rule of thumb is finger tight and then 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn. That's finger tight. That's it, quarter turn. And then I'll check it tomorrow, make sure it didn't come loose. Like my dad used to say, yeah, it's just rust proof. Cap is on, oil filter is retightened. Mess on the driveway, success. No. Mess on the cardboard, success. Taking my tools out with me. And I have to degreasify some stuff. $16, $14. Those are my just in case. $15. Wipe off my socket wrench. Wipe off my oil filter wrench. Where'd that go? I'll put it in there for now. Okay. Oh, I gotta boil my glasses again. Nice. Better on my glasses than in my eyes. Okay, up top. One that I can reach things with. They do have a lot of funnels. Let's see how this one fits in there. I don't think this one's gonna fit. It's too big. No, I don't know. I just don't want it to run down the engine. Now let's use a smaller one. It's the pour slower. There's nothing in there. That one will work. I'll use the big one to pour in the little one. All right, let's get the oil. Now they recommend 0W. Unless you're in one of the southern states, then you can use 5W30. That's it. 8 quarts. Just cap back on. And then I'm going to pick up my oil stuff. It'll be a lot easier that way. Oh, let's get my wheel chocks, so I don't run them flat. Make sure I didn't leave anything under there except for what's right in the middle. Now I got to see how to reset the oil change thing in the computer. Resetting the intelligent oil leak monitor. Press the menu button on the steering wheel. Okay, maybe this is easier. I just couldn't find it in their menu. I thought it was harder than that. I overthought it. So I came in here and I went to information screen, menu, vehicle maintenance, oil life. Says 100% because I already reset it. But you just hold down the OK and it resets it. Sends it back to 100%. And that's it. And I think I can scratch this dealership reminder off of here because they didn't change it and I did. Well, that's not cool. They make it so you can't peel it off.